Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for being today with us for this webinar. I'm Alex. I'm with SetKeeper. Nice meeting you, everybody. So maybe we'll just give it another few seconds just to let anybody else join. And then, hey, Kuldeep, how are you doing?
Good. I'll go on dark now. I think right?
All right, no worries. I will just remove your screen for now. So what I will do is that I'm gonna invite on stage our guests one after the other, and they will present you with amazing new solutions and services to help us in these very challenging times. And there will be a Q&A with Weston Manville. So Weston Manville is our manager at Catchlight Studios and also the production coordinator on the upcoming movie Songbird. Our guests today also include Josh Friedman. He's the CEO of CrewMeUp and also the author of the book Getting It Done, the Ultimate Production Assistant Guide. Amazing book that I do have a copy of it. I recommend it to anybody. I will also invite on stage Steve Yandrich and Kuldeep Singh, co-founders of Saniset. Steve Vitolo, who is the CEO and founder of Scriptation. And finally, my colleague Nick Bars will be able to show you a bit more of what we do at SetKeeper. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. As you know, it's a new world out there for the production community. Productions have to adjust to the new regulations and constraints that COVID-19 has brought to the industry. But today, you will get the chance to hear from really awesome people and awesome new solutions that will be very, very incredibly helpful as productions move forward in this new chapter. Just to give you a quick rundown of the solutions we're going to show you, and then of course each guest will have the opportunity to tell you and show you a bit more about what they do. So Saniset, they specialize in COVID-19 return to work solutions for productions. Scriptation, it's a digital tool for notating and collaborating on scripts. And finally, CrewMeUp is an app for connecting with production folks to streamline the hiring and job hunting process. And of course, SetKeeper, well, I think most of you know who we are. We help productions go paperless with distribution for script sites. And also now you can send health declaration forms through the platform. So we'll spend the first 20 minutes quickly showing you what we do with SetKeeper, Saniset, Scriptation, CrewMeUp. So the order will be first CrewMeUp, then Scriptation, then Saniset, and finally SetKeeper. And then after those initial 20 minutes, there's going to be the Q&A with Weston. So Weston Manville will be joining us and tell us a bit more about his experience on the movie Songbird and how his team managed their production workflow in the middle of the pandemic shutdown. Quite impressive. And finally, there will be a Q&A with all the guests. So please use the chat if you have any questions. I'll be, stepping down during the webinar, so I'll be able to also note your questions. And this way, at the end after approximately 45, 50 minutes, we'll be able for the last 10, 15 minutes to see if we can answer as many questions as we can. And of course, all the guests will be on stage, so we'll be also able to respond to specific questions, to specific solutions or specific services that you may have. So first of all, so for the first 20 minutes, I'm going to invite on stage so Josh to explain a bit more about what is CrewMeUp and how they can help. And then I'm going to invite Steve for Scriptation, and finally Stephen Kuldeep for Saniset, and then Nick for SetKeeper. So we're going to start now with Josh. So Josh, I'm just going to invite you on stage, and don't worry, in the end, everybody will be back on stage, so you get a chance to chat with everybody. Josh, I just sent you an invite to join me on stage.
Great. Hello.
Hey, Josh. Great to have you today. Thank you again.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here with everybody else too. We've got some great companies online today.
And the floor is yours.
Thank you. So guys, thanks so much for coming out. Really appreciate it. I am Josh Friedman. I'm a producer, working DGA assistant director, and I'm also the founder of CrewMeUp, which is a mobile platform helping us to connect and find work, which is basically what we all need right now, especially as things start to go back up again. The question is where, because the people that we were working with before are not necessarily available. So that being said, I did have a demo for you guys, but my phone broke and now my computer doesn't trust it. So what I'm gonna do is share my screen, and I'll show you one page from our deck that shows you exactly what we're doing and what we offer. So everybody can see my screen? Perfect. So this is CrewMeUp, and when you first log in, you'll be taken to a home screen, which you'll see on the left here. And in that home screen, you've got two modes. You've got hiring mode if you're a department head, say a key grip, or if you're a gaffer, or you've got crew mode if you're looking for work, say you're a best boy, or you're a third, or a PA. So to start, in the top left corner, we start with resources right here. Now, resources are anything that production needs. So you come in and you need grip electric camera gear. We've got resources, we've got access. We're partnered with people here in New York like LVR USA, Gotham Sound, or for your van rentals, Edge Auto. Moving down from there, you've got your crew research. So if an employer comes in here, he's going to see a list of available production people, and then he'll be able to actually hone in and type in a search to find exactly what he needs. So here we've got Eric Martinez, who is a costume designer. We can see his IMDb, resume, and website. Those are all links that we'll click. You can also see that he's available all week. So if I want to hire him, I know that I'm not going to waste my time. Also, if you look down at the bottom here, you'll see we have two options. You can either hire him for a new job, which is a direct ask from the profile, or you can hire from an existing job, which is what most of us know right now, like posting. Now, when it comes to the job posts, this is what we're looking at. So on the left here, you have a post with all the information that we're all used to seeing. On the right, from an employer perspective, you can see who's applied. So now you're not wasting your time, you're not confused, and you can move people into the hired row from the applied row as everything goes through. The last function that we offer you guys is a calendar. So here, there's a few cool things that we're doing. Red means that you're booked. Sorry, we'll zoom in here. Green means that you're available. So I'm not going to waste my time trying to hire you for days that I know you're not available. Now, if you are booked through the app and you click that day, you're going to see a job post come up similar to this on the right. So you know exactly what job you're going to on that day, what you're getting paid, and the details you'll be able to get involved in. If you're an employer or a department head, the other side of this is you will actually be able to see who you've got coming in, not just the job that you posted for. So that's basically who we are and what we do. The app is completely free. We don't charge the filmmakers. I'm one of you guys. I would really hate to take money out of my own pocket, let alone yours. So if you want to hire, if you want to find a job, we're here to help. We want to build this community, get back to work, and make sure that everybody's doing it right.
Thank you very much, Josh. And we do have two questions for you. So I thought maybe while you're on stage, you could maybe take them. So does CrewMeUp have access to a production listing on a weekly basis? That was one of the questions.
It does not. So we're trying to do things a little differently. What you're asking about and what you're used to is looking for a post. What we'd like you to do is come into our app, create a profile, and then let the employers find you. Your resume will speak for itself. So there's fewer posts and more connecting. We really just want to make action happen.
Thank you. And the other question was, is CrewMeUp based in New York and is resources nationwide?
Resources are currently New York Central, but we do have a few that are nationwide. And the app itself is nationwide. So we've got people in LA, Atlanta, Louisiana, Missouri. We do have a big population in New York, Minnesota. So we are nationwide.
Thank you very much, Josh. Very, very appreciate it. And I'm gonna now invite on stage Stephen from Scriptation. Thank you, Josh. We'll see you again. Cheers. All right, Stephen, I just invited you on stage.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks
Hey,
for having me
Steve, how
on.
are you?
Yeah, my company is Scriptation. I'm going to play you a couple of videos here. But just to give you a little bit of a background on myself and where I started, I'm a TV writer. I worked as a writer's assistant and a script coordinator on shows for a number of years. And I noticed this problem constantly when I was on a show, which is the script revision problem, where I would put out a 50-page draft, and then there would be either 20 revision pages on top of that or another fully collated script. And everyone on set would make notes in one draft, then they would get the new script and have to recopy their notes on the next draft, or collate the pages themselves and recopy the notes. And I thought that was kind of a crazy waste of time, and especially with new technologies around, like having an iPad, making notes digitally. So I'm going to play you a quick video on sort of an intro video on Scriptation, and then I'm going to tell you what we're doing now during the pandemic to help people collaborate on set.
So you're working on a TV show, or an indie feature, or a big budget feature. Think about how much time you spend dealing with scripts. Reading them.
You can click on the video
breaking
to
them
have
down,
sound if you don't have it.
marking them up. And just when you think you have a handle on everything, a new script revision gets dropped on your lap. This happens a lot. You get a revision, you have to figure out what's changed, and you recopy the same notes over and over and over again. So we thought, what if an app could do all that for you? Meet Scriptation. Here's how it works. You open a script and you start making notes. You can highlight, underline, type, draw. You get the idea. And when the revised script comes out, you can import all your notes into the new draft. Scriptation will even tell you if something's been changed or deleted. So what are you waiting for? Get Scriptation, now available in the App Store.
So that Scriptation, that is the main problem and solution. As you can imagine, going paperless on set right now, a lot of people are moving to digital solutions, and having a way to make scripts and then go through script revisions seamlessly with the tap of a button is really beneficial for people. So I'm gonna just play one more video for you guys and then wrap it up here to show you some of the collaboration features that we have now that you're on set, allowing people to share notes directly with each other using the same document. Okay, so we think that that's a particularly valuable feature for people collaborating on set. Right now, they can instantly share their notes, and when they update their annotations, they could press one button and share it with somebody else. So that's it.
Thank you, Stephen. Quite impressive. And I can tell you guys, we do actually have a production that use SetKeeper and Scriptation. And it was important for them to be able to keep using Scriptation by being able to read scripts watermarked with SetKeeper in Scriptation. So it was, I could see it was something very important to them because they actually asked to be able to do that. And the app, I mean, you know, well, Steve, I've used it myself. I've tried it, and I think it's really impressive. So congratulations on your work and the work of your team.
And the watermark worked perfectly in Scriptation, we found out. So that's great.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Steve. So I'm gonna now invite on stage Steve Yandrich and Kuldeep Singh for Saniset. So I'm gonna invite you now, Steve and Kuldeep. There you go. Hey, Steve, how are you doing today?
What's up? How are you guys? How are you doing?
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Great. Hi again, Kuldeep.
Hi.
Okay, the stage is yours, guys.
Hey guys. I'm Steve Andrich, and this is my partner, Kuldeep Singh. We started this company, Saniset, I think back in March. My experience as a producer and a line producer, Kuldeep doesn't come from the film world. He does more tech startup, import, export, manufacturing. Kind of when this thing kind of first started, you know, I was going to as an individual to Rite Aid and trying to find different elements of PPE, and that was impossible. And at the same time, the union was putting out guidelines in regards to PPE and services required for the film industry. So I knew there'd be a problem there. I reached out to Kuldeep, who was supplying some PPE for the hospitals in New York, and we're like, how do we get this done? So we started getting it done, and as we were getting it done, you know, different producers I'm friends with were asking for services and testing and disinfection services and different things. So I'm going to share my screen with you now, and you guys can see our website, and we can kind of go through that. Cool. You guys see it? Cool, yeah. So this is our website. We're a return to work solution for the entertainment industry.
Perfect, Steve.
Yeah, so we can kind of go through it line by line. We have a bunch of PPE products that we're sourcing locally and overseas in different places. Our products are primarily on the EPA N list, which is the ones that are proven to fight COVID with different contact times. We provide different sanitizers, dispensers, things for crew members to use individually, different things like that. So, you know, in the beginning we had about 5 SKUs, but, you know, as different productions were asking us for different specific items, we wanted to make sure everyone was serviced. So we got, you know, quite a amount of SKUs now that are difficult to all manage, but we get them and we have them. So there's that element of it. Yeah, so you guys can all see that here. We kind of got fun, and there's different products that were specifically made for different departments. Like one of our friends is a sound mixer, and he made this product for a lab kit, which was super fun, and different thing like that. So, you know, when we first started, Kuldeep and I got together. My background's in production, so it's like we brought on my staff from the last film I did because, you know, we felt it could be really good if it was powered by production, just because, you know, those people are really experienced in like fast-paced environments. You know, producers are asking us for things last minute. So one thing I like to say, it's like normally I'm on one production where there's a ton of emergencies, but now we're on like 30 productions with a ton of emergencies, and I don't think Kuldeep was quite ready for that. But it's like we all know things are like last minute, very high paced. So at that point, we were being asked for services. So we thought it was really important to bring on some epidemiologists. That's the first thing that we did for consulting. We partnered with a medical director. We brought on a head of production and different HSS folks and different people reaching out, handling client bids and different things like that. So we now offer testing. We've been doing that for a couple months now, where we have a facility in Burbank where folks walk in, and we also send out concierge teams to do on-set testing and all the different types of testing, and all that would be a whole different conversation that would take a couple hours. So we have those different positions. We had to bring on accounting and different things like that. So in regards to our services, we provide health and safety supervisor labor, which I don't know if you guys are too familiar with what the requirements are there with their process. And we essentially do all the coordinating for the productions to begin with. On the larger clients, we provide risk assessments. So like on the studios, they'll want a risk assessment before anyone even enters the space. We work with CLI certified labs and kind of best in class services in regards to disinfection. Our pricing that's on our website isn't made for production companies, so generally those are retail prices. So the productions will email us directly, and we'll get a whole estimate going for them. And yeah, that's kind of what we do. Colby, if you have anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's very nice to meet all of you, and I think the big thing that we've learned is we're just trying to help people get back to work. So we've augmented our services over the past 4 or 5 months to now offer, like Steve said, testing. We're doing testing with labs in 8 different cities, and we're doing testing nationwide. We have also rapid testing capability. Like Stephen mentioned, we have COVID disinfection services, and then also just general production coordination. So we're doing, many bids every single week, and we're happy to work with anyone that reaches out, even just asking for quotes for different products. And our goal is just to get people back to work. And now, even with some of the risk assessments and talking with teams in different cities, we're learning about some of the nuances, even with local ordinances and local governments. So we're happy to help out, and just feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be able to have someone from our team, even just give some advice.
Yeah, so I think the best way to reach out if you guys are interested is probably to Kuldeep or myself directly. Our contact information is listed on the website. The website is saniset.org, and I think that would be the best way for you guys to get dialed in. So.
Thank you very much, guys. Quite impressive to see that you are exploring the field of testing. Must be quite a challenge, and lots of things to learn and to apply. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now I will invite my colleague Nick to tell you a bit more about SetKeeper, and then we will start our Q&A with Weston Manville. Nick, I'm inviting you on stage now. All right. And again, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat. We'll either respond to them almost immediately if there's a few of them, or we can also have a broader Q&A at the end of the session if there are more questions. Hey, Nick, how are you doing?
Good. Thanks, Alex. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. So this should look good here. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Thanks, Alex. Quickly, SetKeeper, as Alex mentioned, is for paperless watermarking and distribution of any documents you need. We also offer features for cast and crew onboarding. Some of the clients that we work with in recent productions, a lot of Netflix shows. We work with A24. Let's see, Annapurna Pictures, several different clients around the world. Just to go through this, just to kind of give you an idea of who we're working with. Quickly, our features, the document watermarking and distribution feature is kind of our bread and butter and most popular feature. You can securely share documents either as attachments, links, or closed loop links. These can be with watermarks with just your users' names, or they can be customized. We also offer features like password protection, expiration dates on links, etc. Our sides feature is also extremely popular. We offer, you can click through the platform, select as many sides as you need, reorder them in whatever shooting order that you need them for. You can cross out, gray out scenes, you can hide scenes. It's all incredibly intuitive and operates very seamlessly. Our newest feature is our daily health declaration reporting, obviously very relevant to the pandemic. What we do is we can customize a survey for you based on the kind of health questions you need to ask your crew members. So we would collect this form from you, map it into SetKeeper so that when your crew receives this form, they would be able to answer it on their phone, on their laptop, on their tablet, send it back to you. And then your health and safety supervisor or whoever is managing this information on set can then quickly see who is, how people are answering these questions. And if anyone does answer yes or triggers an alert to something that you need to be aware of, you will quickly get that notification. So this is what the platform looks like quickly. If you are going to send one of these health forms, this is our people page. We also have our script module, production files. So from the people page is where you would manage this health form. So what I would do here is I would select myself. I would select this form to fill in. And this is where you would find your health form. This is designed so that the personal information section would be filled out once, so that, you know, if you're sending this out every single day, your crew members wouldn't have to fill this out every single time. It would save. But for the survey section, which is what, you know, we can customize for you based on whatever kinds of questions you would need, this is what it would have to be responded to every day. So I already have this queued up here. So this is what it would look like for your crew member. This is the form. Again, it would appear like this on your laptop, also on your mobile or tablet. So I have this personal information section that I've already filled out. And then I can go ahead and answer these questions. And if these are all mandatory questions, so I have to answer every single one of these before I would fill them out. And when I would submit it, I'd confirm my information. And now when I look back here on the people page, I can look and see, oh, Nick is red. I answered yes to one of those questions. So then I can be alerted and know that either Nick needs to be contacted, anyone else in his departments, etc. So that's just the basic overview of our health feature. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any other questions about our platform, and you know, we're always happy to give demos for anyone who's interested. So
Thank you very much, Nick.
All right, disable this here.
Thank you, Nick. So I will now welcome on stage Weston. Weston is a manager at this incredible company, Catchlight Studios, and also production coordinator on the upcoming movie Songbird that was produced during the pandemic shutdown. So quite impressive, quite a challenge. So I will now invite Weston on stage, and we'll handle the Q&A with Weston, and then I'm going to invite back everybody else so we can have a final Q&A if there's any question. Weston, I'm inviting you now, so you should be able to join us soon.
Hey guys.
Hey Weston, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you.
Thanks so much, Weston. So I know you're in the middle of work right now. You're on your next project, and when we're talking about Songbird, of course, we don't have to talk about specifics. I'm sure it's sensitive as to what the content is, but you know, I guess to start out, could you maybe tell us a bit more about yourself? We know that you've worked with CBS in the past, and Blumhouse, and then now at Catchlight. So maybe a quick bio would be great.
Yeah, I guess I started off wanting to be a writer all throughout my childhood and growing up and everything. And I always thought to myself, you know, I can always do that on the weekend, but what I can't do is learn how to make a movie. So after college, I went and took the first job I could really get in the business, which was PAing on the Late Late Show with James Corden, which kind of led to working for the head of production at CBS. And after I got through with that, I, you know, kind of worked my way up there. I made my way to Jeanette Volturno's office at Blumhouse and had a great time there. And after she left there, she revamped her company now, which is Catchlight. And during the pandemic, when things kind of slowed down, I went over to her, and now this is where we are, and it's great. And that was kind of the quick and dirty version, but that's how I got to where I'm at now.
All right. Sounds good. I guess back to Songbird. This seems did it come together super quickly? I guess, like, what stage were you brought on? Or was it always planned to be kind of a thing that was going to, I guess, if you could talk more about that.
So I was brought on in April when, it was already cooking, but prep hadn't really started yet, but it went really, really quickly. And this was back when everything was truly shut down. Like, there was no cars in the streets, companies weren't really going. I'd call vendors and they'd be like, who is this? Like, you need things. So I came on pretty early, and it was a challenging experience. It took a lot of legwork, a lot of calling, and it took off after that. But yeah, it was very fast.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember when we connected, it was it was a pretty strange time, I think, for everybody, and just trying to figure all of that out was crazy. So I guess, like, were you working from home? Were you, I guess, going to any sets, or how did that work?
This is the production office. Yeah, it's my home. There was a few times where, especially when we started with testing, that we'd have to go and obviously physically be around people. So for the majority of it, I was able to work from home, which presented its own challenges. Communication is very difficult, and everything takes twice, if not 3 times as long to just do anything nowadays. But yeah, working remotely and working from home was how we did most of it until we started shooting. I was still able to work remotely, but obviously people had to be together. But that came with a whole bunch of challenges in itself, and it took a lot of work to get through it, but we did it, and we did it right.
Yep. And most of us are still working from home and working remotely. We're figuring out and getting more used to it. So I guess, were there any sort of challenges special challenges that you weren't anticipating that you'd maybe kind of recommend other people sort of think about if they were going to attempt something like this?
Well, I think communication was the biggest challenge by far. Like I said before, even just a little note or a little thing to do or say to somebody, just you can't walk down the hall in an office and say it. So I think it's important to have as many kind of like meetings or just time for people to get together if you're going to go through production, because everyone is on their kind of same page when they're working from home. So any kind of tools you can implement, meetings to have, any just ways to encourage communication, I think is huge and instrumental in just getting everyone on the same page and going forward as quickly as possible, because it's going to take a lot longer to do anything.
Right. Can you tell us about some of like the new tools that you used? Maybe like SetKeeper, just to drop that in there. But I'm sure there were others too. But yeah, curious to hear about that, and then your experience with SetKeeper as well.
Well, yeah, SetKeeper was very instrumental, especially when it's last minute. I think I've called you guys in a panic a few times where I had to get 60 or 80 scripts out there watermarked at once and no time to do it. And this program literally does that, and it does it very quickly and easily. And it doesn't have too many of these like super extra huge features that I don't really need. Like, you guys have a system that I think is very pinpoint and perfect for what I do anyway. So that was really great. Another system I like to use was CrewV, which is kind of similar to CrewMeUp, which I saw here today, but that had a lot of excellent people to just help me figure out who we're going to use on set and things like that. So that was great. I wish I had a lot of these other programs that I've seen here today, because they all sound really, really good and great. Because I had to, especially during the pandemic, call these people and just kind of find these things that weren't even around at the time, like all these PPE and all that kind of stuff. And not to mention testing companies, and it was like the Wild West for a while. So it was a lot of late nights, but we got through it.
Yeah, you got through it. Alex, do you want to jump in here?
Of course, yeah. Thank you very much, Nick, and Weston. Thank you again.
No
Are
problem.
there any particular challenges that you did not anticipate and would recommend others to make sure they consider with their productions going forward? Any advice?
Well, in relation to the pandemic, I think it's important to just be as informed as you can with all these new rules and regulations, reading the safe way forward and all the union guidelines, being on top of the testing and what companies are legitimate, like where your tests are being sent to labs. There's just so much information to track. So I recommend just checking in on the world every so often and seeing what's out there and making sure you're up to date. It's changing every week. So you just got to stay on top of things and not get set in one way and just be ready to pivot, because you're going to have to do something different next week that you did last week. So just, keep reading and just being informed and, be ready to pivot, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
And anything you thought that you may stressed over too much and in the end it wasn't a big deal? Anything you thought would be like a bigger challenge and actually went quite fine?
Anything I thought was a bigger challenge. I think one thing that I heard a lot of positive feedback on that I thought that people would be more rebellious over was having them wear their masks or just pay attention to the rules and be a team player. It seemed like everybody actually wanted to stay safe and be healthy and didn't really fight anyone too much on, putting on the masks. And I think everyone was a team player, and that was really great to hear, because you never know, especially with all the social media and stories you see on the news these days with people just flagrantly, resisting a lot of things. But, everyone seemed to really want to work together to not only keep working, but to just be safe and be respectful of everyone else. So that was a nice surprise.
And are there any rules not in place yet, or to protect against COVID-19 on TED that you think could be interesting to explore? Anything you think is actually currently missing?
No, I think the unions have done a very thorough job in addressing every single thing, kind of revolving around COVID and what you can do to combat it and to get through it safely. What they don't know and what we don't know and what everyone doesn't know are all these things that are changing every week. So there are rules that will probably be in place next week that aren't here yet. So that's kind of a difficult question to accurately assess or address. So I think for now, there's a lot of good things out there, and we just got to pay attention to them and kind of wait for what's going to happen next week. But I think as of right now, it looks like everything's pretty covered. I mean, there's a lot of material out there to read.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much, Weston. So now I'm going to invite back on stage Josh from CrewMeUp, Stephen from Scriptation, and Stephen Cooldeep from Saniset. So everybody will be here. Let me do that. All right, so... Okay, everyone, you should be receiving those invites. Hi again, Steve.
Hello.
Hey, Josh.
All right.
And just need to invite Cooldeep. There you go. All right. Thank you again, Weston. So we'll keep the Q&A now. So does anyone have any question for Weston in the chat? And then I'm sorry, Kuldeep, I think I need an extra spot to add you, but I'm gonna do that soon. Sorry about that. There you go. All right. Okay, so Nick, I'm sorry, I had to free your seat to be able to invite Kuldeep. All right, let me see the chat. Thank you very much, Weston. If anyone has any questions to either SetKeeper, CrewMeUp, Scriptation, or Saniset, feel free to ask. If there's no question, of course, we'll email you, we'll be in touch. So if there's anything we can help you with, let us know. And thank you again, Weston, for your feedback and great advices. Wishing you all the best for your next project, for your new production, and yeah, glad to hear that you could work on this new movie even during the pandemic lockdown. That's quite impressive.
I appreciate it, and I look forward to checking all your guys' systems out. So it was cool hearing it all.
Thank you, everybody. And so we'll email you. There's going to be a recording of this webinar, and we'll also email you more information about SetKeeper, CrewMeUp, Scriptation, Saniset. And if you have any questions, you can of course go to the websites of. So I put them. Our team put them in the chat. So we have CrewMeUp.com, Saniset.org, Scriptation.com, and SetKeeper.com. So all the links are in the chat, and of course they are also listed in the description of the webinar, and they will be reminded to you by email. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Alex.